I don't know where this first kind of got into my head, but the principle that selling something, all you're really doing is solving people's problems. So tonight I thought we'd have a little bit of a chat around the way that, a new way that we've looked at doing parties recently.
Yeah, I think we're going to call it the problem solving
method.
Yeah, there we go, method.
So one of the principles that I always tried to teach Cindy, kind of from, and this is just, I don't even know where it came from. It was probably my dad, right?
You probably have more of a sales background than I do. Like, I don't know
where this first kind of got into my head, but the principle that selling something, all you're really doing is solving people's problems. And he never really, whoever gave me that, I'm pretty sure it was my dad, never really expanded much on that. It kind of just left me with solve people's problems. Don't sell things to them that they don't need. Solve their problems. That's all he ever really told me. You're in the business of solving problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I knew what that meant, but we've recently kind of been discussing things around that and presenting at parties and different ways of doing that, solving problems. And I think we've kind of refined it a little bit to a point where it makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, it's taken us 6 years. Do you know that? 6 years to refine this idea of problem solving in a party setting using Sensi.
Shouldn't have taken that long.
It did though.
It did.
But this is it also explains, like, it's a great example of basically you just keep trying.
Constantly refining.
Until you get to the point where you finally hit a winner. And sometimes it takes 6 years until you finally find that perfect combination or that perfect formula.
For now anyway, right?
Yeah, that's right. And then we'll probably have to refine it again or find a different method. As we kind of evolve in our business.
So basically the way that it's generally worked is we have a catalogue, or you probably explain it better, right?
So
how would your party
generally when you go to a party, doesn't matter if it's Sensi or nothing, or nothing. It doesn't matter if you go to a Sensi party
or nothing.
Or you go to or you go to a different direct sales party. Generally what happens is someone stands up, they present, and they have, a presentation basically. Sometimes it can be 10 minutes, 15, sometimes it can be an hour. It just depends on the product, it depends on the person, it depends on, how you've been trained and taught as well. So I've always never kind of liked the whole 1 hour thing because let's face it, we're all busy people. No one has that much time to sit there to be talked to or sold to. That's just like the worst thing you could possibly do. So I got it down to like about 10-15 minutes as a presentation. At the end of the day, we are just selling warmers and wax. There is really nothing else to it. So it doesn't have to be a complicated presentation. But I have had feedback, and I myself sometimes feel awkward starting the party because to me, it's definitely more of a sales presentation. Definitely. And I knew that as soon as I stood up there, I definitely became the consultant that was selling people something rather than someone helping them with something. And so I was thinking about Andrew's principle that he has like definitely ingrained it in me since we started Sensi, that I'm a problem solver, but I never kind of understood how I could solve, like, especially when there's like, let's say 5 to 10 people at a party, how could I individually get to each person and solve their problems without it kind of blowing up into like hours? And so I've struggled with that concept until I sat in a training and I said to Andrew, I think I found the answer.
So the inherent problem with a presentation is that, or traditional selling, right?
Yeah.
Hard selling.
Yeah.
Is that it's pretty selfish.
Yeah.
It's basically, I have a goal or a target that I'm trying to meet. And in order for me to meet that thing, I need things from you.
Yeah.
I need you to purchase. I need you, if I've got to sell $500 worth of stuff, I need $100 from each of the 5 of you. Otherwise, I'm not going to do my thing, which I'm really set on doing.
Yeah.
That's basically the focus and the kind of driving factors behind a presentation-based, hard-selling-based party.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And it's effective.
Yeah, it's definitely effective.
Because that's how we've always done it, but it's not as effective as it could be.
Yeah, and one of the biggest keywords that have stuck to me lately, especially as I've kind of explored becoming a salesperson, because I mean that's what we do, we're salespeople. At the end of the day, that is our title. We are sales consultants. Was being ethical and moral. And I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about being ethical and moral in what it is that I do, and that's definitely something that I definitely want to be, as an ethical person, and I'm a person that has morals. And I was thinking about how sometimes you go to a store and you want to purchase something, or you're looking for something to solve a problem, and they end up selling you something that you just don't need. And sometimes it's easiest to buy it and get out of there than try and convince them that that's not the solution to your problem, that you wanted something else, or that they weren't listening and they just ended up selling you something because they said this will fix your problem, and you get back home and you're like, well, that just cost me another $150 and that didn't even solve my problem at all. And so those two words of being ethical and moral and being a problem solver has all kind of come together for me this week.
It's also being selfless.
Yes.
So being ethical and moral, basically you're not selling them for your selfish purposes or your company's selfish purposes or the corporate selfish purposes. You're selling something to someone to help them.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
Yeah.
And as soon as you take the focus off what you need out of it and put the focus back on what your potential customers need and actually need, not what targets you need to hit, what do they need and what problems can you solve, then it becomes ethical and moral.
Yeah, and what I think the biggest thing going off of that is, one thing that before you even start any kind of sales conversation or presentation or party, as you want to put it, is to take away the need of needing something. Is that right?
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
So as long as you need something from someone else, not only is it selfish to be the only one that's looking to have your needs fulfilled, right? That's selfish. That's almost the definition of selfishness.
Yeah.
But when you need something from someone else, you don't have any power.
Yeah.
So.
And you become desperate.
Yeah. So
that's something to think about.
If I
you become
need
desperate.
$100 of sales from you and I can't feed my family until I get that $100, I'm relying on you to feed my family, and I need that $100 no matter what it takes. It doesn't matter what I have to do to get it, I have to get it.
Yeah.
And there will be people that will teach it that's great and that's hustling and that's what you're supposed to do and that's how sales works, and you can tell whatever you want to your potential customers to get them across the line to get you that thing. But if you need something from someone, they have all the power.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are trying to...
You've given them ownership of your life, basically.
And the decision. The decision ultimately rests with them. But when you solve someone's problems, the decision, you've put them
first
in a situation though. So if they've come to you with a problem, you give them the solution. You've put them in a situation where you no longer need their sales. They actually need what it is that you are offering them. They need you.
Yeah, that was good.
They don't need... they're no longer thinking about what the cost is.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about...
Yeah.
You're not thinking about your sales thing.
Or what the product is that's going to solve their problem. That's all gone.
All they're thinking about is this problem that they've never been able to find a solution to properly. You've convinced them that you have the answer through your own experiences or showing them the actual product in the flesh. But once they realise that the answer and solution is there, they then now need you.
Yeah.
They need your product.
Yeah.
More than you need their money.
And that's that whole not needing them for something.
Yeah.
It's you've switched the table, you switched the switch. Is that what's the saying? I don't even know what the tables. Turn the tables around, and you've now put yourself in a position where you're actually controlling the conversation. And that is a good ethical and moral person, that can do that. Someone that can Is that right?
Yeah, because it's no longer about you.
Yeah.
You're not telling lies. Like, because for a long time, I've always thought that it's okay to stretch the truth in the name of selling someone something.
Yeah.
As long as you can convince them. Like, how many times have you gone to Harvey Norman to buy a laptop? This is one that I vividly remember because I went to buy Cindy a laptop.
A different one. Hey.
But like, I remember going in there and saying, "Hey, I'm here to buy a laptop," and the guy straight away goes, "Well, I just bought my girlfriend this one last week."
They always say that actually when you buy the vacuum or you buy like the fridge.
Did you really? Or is that what you tell everyone?
This is the one that I have in my home.
Or is this the one that you make the most commission on? So you're giving me that one because you know I'm here to purchase something. I've already given that away. I've stuffed that up. I've given you the power because I've told you I'm here to buy something.
Yeah.
Now you're going to tell me there's this one. Your girlfriend doesn't have that one, and it's okay that she doesn't. Maybe it's the best one available. Say that. But like, it's not okay. It's not ethical or moral to stretch the truth in the name of getting a sale.
Yeah. Well, it always comes undone eventually. But also, the reason behind this is, if you think about what it is that we're trying to achieve, so obviously you're sharing and you're helping someone achieve, solve their problems. But when it comes time that they receive the product, they're going to be happy with it because you actually took the time to find out what it was that they needed. What they needed to solve their problem. You actually gave them the right product instead of just whatever it is that you decided that you wanted to sell that day or how much you wanted to make that day. They're going to be happy. And you know what happens when people are happy? They share you with their friends and family.
And they keep coming back.
If they're unhappy, you're going to have the worst couple of weeks because they're going to be annoying and you don't have time for that. So if you do not have the solution to their problem, and that's where we're becoming ethical and moral, when we're going to show you the method soon, when you're taking the time to find out what it is, if you don't have the solution, be ready to walk away because you shouldn't be selling them something that they don't need. You should be selling something that they need. Otherwise, they're going to be disappointed. They're going to be disgruntled. And then not only are you never going to see them again, but they're going to be customers from hell. And you don't need that. No one needs that. You want customers that are happy and satisfied and that are going to keep sharing you with other people. That's healthy for business. So let's get into
we've worked out a little bit how we feel like, and we've done it a couple of times, how we feel like this should work in a party setting.
Yeah.
So, you get to the party.
So we go to
You just start. It's going to be way better if you do it because I'll just be making things up.
Because he doesn't do the parties.
We've chatted about it and I feel comfortable with the theory of it, but Cindy is the practice.
Here's the practice. So, got to the party, set my party up exactly how I normally would. And I started off like this, literally like this. Thanks everyone for coming to Joe's party. Here's a little gift. Always give her a little thank you gift because it's lovely what she did, inviting me into her home to meet all her friends, cleaning her house and making all the food. So I always thank them and then I say, look, I'm just going to do something a little bit different this time. I'm actually going to sit around and have just a little conversation with you. So what I did was I gave them all a piece of paper. So this is Andrew knows because we actually talked about the method so that I always find that when you talk to a man about something, they always take away the more like they strip away all the kind of feelings and they look at things very practical. Logically, is that what you do?
Without emotion.
And so I talked to him about this and he was like, this is the best method. So I gave them all a clipboard. On the clipboard, usually I would have a catalog and order forms. I took that away for another time and I put a piece of paper and a pen. That's all I did. And I said, look, we're just going to sit around and have a conversation. And while we're having a conversation, I'm just going to ask you a couple questions that I want you guys to write the answer to. And the first question is, what brought you here today? Now, the first thing was they all pointed to the hostess, which was lovely because that's why they came. And so I had to rephrase it. So I said, what is the smelliest problem that you have right now in your life? Write it down. And while you're writing it down, I'm going to share one of the problems that I had before I came across Sensi. So I talked about open flames and how I fell asleep. Anyway, you can do whatever it is that your issue is. It was to basically allow them to think about something and allow my experience, to trigger something in their minds to then start writing it down. So then they start writing it down. And I said, look, my goal today is not to sell you something. My goal today is to find out what your smelliest problem is and whether or not I can actually indeed help you. And what I would love for you to do, if you're comfortable, is to say it to the group, and I will tell you if I can help you first of all, and if I can, I will give you the solution to your problem. If I cannot help you, I will tell you straight up if you need to go somewhere else, because I can't help you with that problem. And so first of all, I set the tone that I'm not selling them anything, that they can trust me, that they know that I'm not there to make a quick sale. I wasn't also showing them all these things that I loved. Instead, by them writing down what problems they had, I was able to focus on exactly what they were looking for. And so I got straight to the point rather than an hour of presentation and going on and on about all these things until I got to the point where I got to sit down and talk to them. So I just got rid of the presentation altogether, and I got straight to talking to them, but I did it in a group setting. And so they got a bit shy at first, so I said, look, the first person that goes, I'll give them a little gift. I had a little car circle ready to go, and someone said to me, oh, look, I've just moved into this house. They must have had dogs or something, and my carpets smell musky, or there's there's an underlying smell to the carpet. So she was going on, and everyone was like nodding, oh yes, dogs, blah, blah, blah. So we're all chatting. I said, look, I have 2 solutions that will help you with that. One is warmers and wax. Have these going 24/7, and and anyway, went into all those types of things. And the second solution I have, which is our cheapest solution, and which one that will probably get better to the core of the problem, is a Scentsy Fresh that you can actually spray into the carpet to deodorize. And it's only $14, and you can use it straight on just not only your carpets but other areas that have that you can spray on. And so that was the first problem. She was like, oh, okay. And then everyone else started to get more comfortable, and they started to come out with their problems. And I was able to just focus on all the things that they wanted to hear instead of the things that I wanted to share. And so it became very specific. It was the most interactive party I've actually ever done in the last 6 years of my Scentsy journey. More interaction between people rather than me talking to a crowd. And to me, it was more fun because it was more engaging, and I felt like because they were engaging, they wanted to know about the products, and so it got me excited, it got me more pumped, it had more passion behind what it was that I was sharing, and that's pretty much how it went.
It's got to be more fulfilling selling that way, right?
Oh, it was just so much more lovely. Instead of me guessing, oh, do you guys have kids? Okay, well, let me show you the kids range. They don't really care. They were like, but if they can tell me what their problem is, and I can tell them what their solution is, then I'm meeting a need. And they feel more comfortable actually making a purchase. I was able to sell my first ever full price diffuser. I have sold diffusers in the past, but only using host rewards. I was able to sell my first full price diffuser because one of her problems was sleep, and she wanted a night light, and it went on like that.
So the final kind of wrap-up principle, right?
Yeah.
Is that we want to solve people's problems rather than sell people things they don't need. Yeah. But also, that solution, for some people, there's no limit to how much people will pay for some solution.
For a solution, absolutely.
If you've got a problem that you've been trying to solve and no one can ever solve it, and then you find the solution, you can't almost put a price on that.
No, well, most people don't care what they're going to spend because it's been a problem. It's annoying them. The other thing you can do, and this is a bit more deeper, getting into really kind of deep skills, is once you solve that, once someone brings up the problem, you can ask them, so how does that impact your life? So something like, I have smelly carpets. How does that impact your life? Or every time I get up, it's disgusting. I'm unhappy being in my house. And then you can then revert back and say, okay, so I can hear that you're saying that you're unhappy, your house smells, you don't like inviting people over to your home. You're kind of confirming all of their feelings. And they say, look, I've got this warmer and wax. It's whatever, $60 for a warmer and 3 pack of wax. You know, should I organize one of those for you? And if they say, hey, look, I'm not quite ready for it, then you can go back into, well, I'm not quite understanding something. I thought you said that you were unhappy about getting up in the morning, and you can revert back to all those things that are impacting their lives and reminding them about those things. And then, like Andrew said, most of the time, if it's a problem that they really, really hate and it's affecting their lives, the price that they will pay for the solution, there's no limit.
No.
They won't blink.
Yeah. So the key is finding out those things. We feel like this method will help you to get to the bottom of what those problems are. It's a natural, easy way to do it. It's non-invasive because they're writing it down for themselves privately. As they begin to share, they start to realize that not only do they have that problem, but at least one other person does, if not everyone. And guess what? Then everyone needs Sensi Fresh, and everyone needs a warmer and wax, and everyone needs...
And it brings up all these other products without you standing up there presenting. They're bringing it up.
Yeah.
They're bringing the cleaning products up. They're bringing the wax and warmers. They're bringing up the kids' products. My kids have their bedroom smells. Guess what? Let's get a buddy in there and a warmer. Like, It just, when you think about it, it's the most natural way, and the most it just makes sense. Like, it just clicks, and it almost, I was saying to Andrew, I don't quite know why I haven't done this years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it just...
So hopefully that helps you guys. Hopefully
Yes.
you can get
feel more
a
comfortable
new perspective
too.
on how you might approach parties, or even just conversations with people around selling Sensi. And hopefully that will get you more success in what you're going for.